New polling has delivered a pretty brutal verdict on Christopher Luxon's government. The latest Ipsos Issues Monitor shows voters now trust Labor more than National on almost every major issue, including the cost of living. Comes after months of tough polls suggesting the coalition would lose an election if it were held today, and that this government is rated the worst performing since the Ipsos series began in 2017. Now, in a very strongly worded column, which is his forte, Herald columnist Matthew Hooton argues all of this points to one conclusion, that Luxon either needs a radical reshuffle or he himself may be the one in the wrong job. Matthew Hooton joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Read your column. I think you make some very good points, as you always do. The fact that there are some great performers in the cabinet, and the one, if you are going to point to one and say, it would be the leader, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it does seem as if the government, and senior ministers say this, the government is less than the sum of its parts. Senior ministers say that there is a very substantial reform program underway across almost every portfolio, and that would be seen as that if this government had a leader who was able to articulate, and bring together that vision and get the confidence of the public. And the feeling is that he's the one who can't do that. Most of the other ministers are, in fact, doing their jobs. There is, of course, a standoff. The one thing that everyone agrees on is that the status quo is not good for the government. But there are those, and there's so much chatter around, there are those that are saying the Prime Minister's about to resign. There's others saying, he's going to do a radical reshuffle. There's others that are saying the coalition might fall apart. There's all sorts of things being said. Some of them are mutually exclusive, but the underlying thing is there is deep dissatisfaction with how things are in the government at present at almost all levels of it.
Yeah, well, it's annoying. The problem that they've got is, who do you replace them with? And is it better the devil you know? I mean, there's the cost of living crisis, crushes whoever's in power. We've seen that around the world, with a couple of exceptions, but generally that's the theme. Do people hate Luxon, or do they hate the economy?
Well, it is a global trend. We're seeing it in the UK with its government, which has many of the same economic problems we have. And there is a trend around the world that each government seems to be loathed more than the one before it. And so to a certain extent, Christopher Luxon is a victim of that global trend. Having said that, he's the leader. He is not just the leader and the manager and the CEO of his government, he's the leader of the country. And that's just one of the factors that he has to take into account as he leads. Of course, if he can lead, if he can provide that sort of leadership that can reverse the situation, because the way things are going, the next government, even if the coalition is returned, is going to be even more difficult, even worse than this one. National's vote will have fallen, and it will have lost 8 or so MPs. New Zealand First and ACT will be even more powerful in a re-elected coalition, and it will probably have a 1, 2, 3 seat majority maximum in Parliament, so that any backbencher from National, ACT or New Zealand First will be able to bring the government down on a whim. Now, what people are saying is there is no winning. That's the best case scenario. And if that's the best case scenario, there just is no winning unless there's some type of substantial change that will boost the coalition's polling overall, and particularly National's polling overall.
Matthew, what do you say to those people who, because you obviously write columns regularly about this stuff, and you have written in the past some quite critical things about Luxon in particular. People who say this is something.
Well, I've never rated him, to be blunt.
No, you've never rated him. I know, but why? Is it because, are there sour grapes from your time with the National Party and the Muller days? What, or is it, do you just think he's shit?
Well, I've seen him before. I think that he lacks deep knowledge of New Zealand and its people. I think he lacks intelligence. I don't think he is able to talk in a sophisticated manner about anything, really. And he is reduced to slogans, and he just isn't connecting with the public. And I worried that would be the case with him. Nicola Willis teases me. She says, "Oh, you've just been writing the same column about him for 3 years." Well, that is right. But he has become the leader. He has become the prime minister. He has done a reasonable job at putting people into the right roles. I mean, when you go through the cabinet, there's not many that you would say should be sacked, but he just cannot get the confidence of the public and the business community, and that's harming the economy as much as the government.